My brother saw a ghost as a kid, but 2 decades later, I realized what he actually saw. I was about 7 years old, my brother about 10. It was well past our bedtime when our mom woke up and put us to bed. Our dad worked construction out of town back then, so it was often just us three at the house for weeks at a time. My brother and mom both had a habit of waking up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom. I only knew this because I was always a light sleeper and they just couldn't help but flush with the door wide open. This night, however, my brother stopped on his way to his room and came back towards the bathroom. I'm gonna try to pee before I go to bed. The past few nights I've been too afraid to walk to the bathroom. I keep seeing a man wearing stripes at the end of the hallway. I don't know if my mom wrote it off as my brother telling ghost stories to try to scare me or if she was already half asleep and didn't catch it, but she didn't react at all to my brother's confession. I, on the other hand, was terrified by it. The fear of seeing a ghost like that at the end of the hallway or through the windows is the reason I started running from the stairs to my bedroom at night. Years later, when I was about 18, my mom and I were having a conversation in her car about a dog we had for a very short time when I was little. We were sharing stories about Max's tendencies towards destroying my shoes or other unruly behaviors when my mom blurted out, "Do you remember that time I opened the front door for the cops and Max ran inside to the kitchen and started tearing open that big bag of dog food we had?" This really caught me by surprise because in all the years I had lived in that house we had never once called the cops. I asked her what she was talking about and she looked equally surprised as if she had just revealed something by accident. "Oh, that's right, I never told you because you were too young at the time. One night I woke up hearing noises outside my window and when I looked I saw a man staring into my bedroom." She went on to describe how turning on the light caused him to take off running and how she grabbed my dad's pistol before calling the cops. I can't remember all the details I gave them when they showed up. Tall white male wearing a striped shirt and jeans, short dark hair, something like that. They said it matched the description of a man they were looking for in the area. It turns out he had escaped from jail on a charge. Now I know it sounds so obvious hearing these two stories back to back, but it wasn't until a few years ago in my mid-20s that I pieced together that my brother had unknowingly warned us about a who spent multiple nights casing our home. Follow for more stories.
What's the scariest story you know that is 100% true? I would call it creepy more than scary, but my mom's friend had a small house and lived alone. She noticed weird things, a batch of soup depleting faster than usual, missing eggs, damp towels in the hamper when she hadn't used any, extra dishes in the dishwasher, etc. This went on for months. She thought she was just being forgetful. One day she heard some thumping around in her attic and went to investigate. She found some makeshift living quarters. Small radio, hot plate, sleeping bag, pillow, food wrappers, etc. She called the cops who came to keep an eye on the place. They ended up catching a homeless man climbing a tree, trying to sneak into her attic window. He had been doing this almost daily. He would wait for her to go to work, then go downstairs and help himself to food and amenities. The funny part about this story is they got to know each other throughout the ordeal, and the guy was actually very respectful, just down on his luck. She didn't press charges, instead, let him move in, helped him get a job, and he lived in the attic until he got back on his feet. Creepy stuff with a happy ending.
A few years before 1996, my aunt had a neighbor that would really freak us all out. He would scream at the top of his lungs all hours of the day and night. He'd say really scary things like threatening to sexually assault the woman with him. Of course, we would call the cops. They would come, talk to him, search his house, and told us that he was there alone. Multiple times. They informed us that he had a mental illness including multiple personalities and that he would talk in different voices. What? Then in 1996, we got the shock of our lives. Turns out, he has a daughter that nobody knew about. She was 12 and she was just found in a secret room in his house with her mother, who nobody had seen in many years and was considered a missing person. His daughter was never brought outside in her entire life. She couldn't walk, couldn't talk besides grunting, and nobody even knew that she ever existed. Turns out, he didn't have multiple personalities, and he wasn't yelling at himself. He was yelling at them the entire freaking time. When my aunt had been his neighbor, his daughter would have been about 4 years old. I wish we could have saved her sooner. She spent 8 more years in that hell because people believed his fake mental illness. It blows my mind to this day. I wonder, okay, please let me know. Do you feel extra vigilant in face of neighbors now? Like, do you grow up and now you're extra, like, cautious and almost, like, nosy, I wonder? I feel like I would head into nosy territory because maybe I feel like I lost my chance to help someone then, so maybe I keep exerting that nosiness later on in life. I wonder, too, how that affects, like, the neighbors as well.
Did Doja Cat sell her soul and now she's in the Illuminati? She recently celebrated her 27th birthday with the Illuminati themed party, and they say when you sell your soul, like the devil takes something from you. Watch this clip, it's weird. That clip is not from her birthday party, but basically she's making all these weird faces. We know her music is a little symbolic, but just watch this other clip of her looking like she's glitching, she's glaring off into space, it's weird.
Yo, check out Doja Cat here. Tell me she on timeout. Looks like she just... Yo, what happened to her? She glitched. Yo, she glitched.
Celebrities are kind of weird, like we've seen Cardi B space out in the middle of interviews, but when you're winning an award, that seems like a time when you shouldn't be like spacey. What do you guys think about this? Do you think she sold her soul?